Okay. Alright, y'all. I have just seen the new Alien movie, Alien Romulus, and it was a very well made movie with a very underwhelming story. So, the movie follows a group of people who are scavenging an abandoned space station, and they soon realize that there's something not human on board. Above everything else, the best thing about this movie that worked for me the most was easily the atmosphere and the setting that it built. From the costumes to the props to the set design, everything just works. It's so consistent and immersive. From the very beginning, you have these really awesome exterior shots of these massive walkways with all these extras, all these people walking through, and it feels dirty, feels grimy like Alien 3, and it's really cool. I love that personally because ever since Marvel has taken over the big cinema blockbuster game, and at least in the 2010s, they're kind of doing dog shit now, but when they were in their prime, they just green screened everything, all the sets, all the locations. They wouldn't shoot in New York City. They'd rather just shoot in front of a green screen, which I understand budget-wise. It makes sense. Their fans obviously don't give a shit about that. They're not there for that. I think it's really cool that blockbusters, especially one to this caliber, like in a big name franchise with a big budget, it looks like that was a priority. Like, we're going to bring it back to the basics, to the roots of this franchise. We're going to do everything practical, and the payoff is great because the designs, the monsters, the xenomorph look fantastic in this movie. They're fucking cool. More importantly, the face huggers freaked me the fuck out. Oh my god. They looked freaky as shit. I love that. If you have arachnophobia, you're done. They were the scariest part in this movie. And not when they were running. When they were running, it's like, oh my god, tension. When they were standing, just waiting, and you see like the little arms just like going up and down. Ugh, fuck that. Horrifying. Crazy, creepy, and fucking gross. I hated that. I love that I hate it. I love that they made me feel such a visceral reaction to that. Like I said, from the monster designs to the designs of the ship, the interior, the exterior, the clothes that they wear, everything just feels super immersive, and that is because of mostly everything we see is done practically, all the practical effects. And I'm not even a CGI hater. I'm not one of these, CGI fucking sucks. Like, no, CGI has its potential. We've seen that in Dune 2. We've seen that in Godzilla Minus One. If you have a competent team with a competent leader, and you budget accordingly, and you don't have some dumb fuck executive saying, hey, you got 3 months to do what you can achieve some really cool stuff with CGI. Now, this movie does mostly everything practical. There is one clear sign of CGI, and that is a big problem in this movie, not only because it's a bad effect, but we'll talk about the morality of that. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. We'll get into that later. But overall, the VFX, the setting, the atmosphere, that's the strongest thing about this movie. I love that shit. I think more blockbusters should make that a priority like this movie did. Overall, the acting was solid. Kaylee Spaney did good as the lead. I will say, the person who stole the show, easily, David Johnson as Andy. Oh my god, what a performance. If you liked Michael Fassbender, or Fassbinder, I don't know how to pronounce his name, sorry about that. If you like him as David in the Prometheus Covenant movies, you'll love David Johnson as Andy in this. He was so good. In fact, his character is given probably the most to do, which reflects in the story because he's the best part. Not just in terms of acting, but in terms of his character arc, and when his subplot becomes kind of more of the focal point of the story, the movie starts to ramp up more. I'm like, now I'm locked in. Where are we going with this? Especially by the end of the first act, I'm like, okay, now it's interesting. What's going on here? Which unfortunately leads me to my biggest complaint with this movie, and that is the story felt super lackluster. It just felt super safe. Nothing new provided in this franchise at all. We've seen the story already told in a much better way 40, 50 years ago. This is this Force Awakens of the franchise, meaning you have this franchise that's beloved by so many people because they start off strong. They start off banger after banger after banger, and then they start dropping a few mids, that was okay, not as good as the first two, and then they start dropping dog shit. You start getting some horrible movies. You're like, what the fuck is this? And after years and years of just beating these fans with just dog shit, everyone's like, okay, let's take a breather, let's take a timeout, let's go back to our roots. Can we get a competent director with a safe script that everyone will love? That was The Force Awakens. That's Alien Romulus, where it feels like a carbon copy of the original, just to capture or attempt to recapture that magic of the first one by playing it super safe. And it just feels so, I see why they did it, and I see why people will like this movie a lot more than I did. It's not a badly made movie. It's just underwhelming. It offers nothing new. It's so safe, and there's like a lack of thrill in that safety net, you know? Say what you will about Prometheus and Covenant. I think Covenant's dog shit. I know there's some diehard Covenant heads out there. I think Prometheus is overrated. It's got its faults, but those two movies at least are original and are trying to add something new to the story. I'll always give credit for that. I love creativity. I like when we try to tell new things. Just because you're telling something new doesn't automatically make it better or good. But I'd rather at least try to hear something new than hear the same fucking thing, you know? It follows the same structure, like beat for beat, like the narrative. It's, you got the claustrophobic ship, you got the human robot that you don't know if you can really trust or not, and it's like, can we do something new? Now, Alien Romulus is too similar to Alien 1 in terms of the story, but it's not similar in terms of tone. Alien 1 is one of the scariest sci-fi movies ever made. It's so good, it's so horrifying. Alien Romulus is being marketed as another horror movie in this franchise. This movie is not that scary. Now, horror is subjective, so you can argue and tell me I'm wrong, and you're not wrong about that either. There was a few annoying jump scares that they used, like the little fake outs, the loud, the loud violin noise. It wasn't obnoxious like Insidious, so it's not too bad of a problem, but nothing scared me in this movie. And I think this movie tried to capture the horror and the scares of Alien 1, but they more or less settled with the tone of Alien 3. Alien Romulus follows the path that Alien 3 did, where it's a horror movie, but it's not a scary horror movie. It's more of a dark survival thriller. Alien Romulus is fun, but it's not scary. If you're hoping for Romulus to scare you, it probably won't scare you. Again, horror is subjective. If you get scared by this movie, you're not wrong for that. I'm not wrong for not being scared by it. I find Alien 1 scary. This movie didn't scare me at all. There's one jump scare that I thought was awesome, that was like, oh shit, that was a good jump scare. That's it. I think the reason why Alien Romulus didn't scare me is because the threat of the aliens themselves didn't feel threatening. It's not even the fact that they were overused or overseen. They were definitely kept more hidden, or the alien was obviously more hidden in the first Alien movie, and that works to its benefit as the scare, because even though you barely see the xenomorph in the first Alien, you feel its presence throughout the entire movie. Like, you know this threat is here, and it's horrifying because it could be around every corner. With Alien Romulus, you never get that dread that, oh, it's around the corner, I'm alone in fucking space. It just feels like the plot needs you here, we're gonna go here, now we need to go here, now we need to go here. There's never this overall dread captured. It doesn't feel that way. It feels more like a dark adventure thriller, like a survival thriller. Like I said earlier, it doesn't capture that horror. The xenomorphs look amazing, but they don't feel threatening. The face huggers look horrifying when they're standing still and you see like their legs moving as if they're like trying to sense the area. When they're running, it just feels like a gimmick. It feels like a plot device. Like, oh, they're chasing you, get from room A to room B, that's it. The threat does not feel threatening, and I think that's what takes a lot of the scare from this movie from me. And in terms of the cast, the crew, again, the acting is solid all around, but the actual characters, like the writing of the characters, you won't remember any of the names. No one gives a shit about them, which, again, if we're going for like a survival horror movie, that's not needed. Most horror movies, unfortunately, you won't remember the cast, but I mean, is it so hard to ask for like good characters? Am I an asshole for that? Am I pretentious for that? For wanting better? The first Alien trilogy had good characters. Every single 1, 2, and 3. I thought I was gonna hate the fucking characters, the main cast of Alien 3. Especially when they're first introduced, and I'm like, oh my god. With the setting and everything, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking hate these characters. By the end of that movie, I was like, fuck yeah, these guys were awesome. Aliens, the characters of Aliens were awesome. The characters of Alien 1 were fucking awesome. This movie, none of them are awesome. They're not bad like Resurrection, but they're just There's one character who's like the bully. They give one line to justify his bully. Well, not justify. They give one line to reason, like to give reason as to why he's an asshole. And it's like, okay, we're getting a little meat in the potatoes there. But other than that, he's like, you don't give a fuck about any of them. Besides the lackluster story, which again is the biggest problem I had with this movie, is that CGI thing I was talking about earlier. And that would be, of course, Ian Holmes' face. I won't spoil it for the first Alien or this movie, but he plays a character and he's in both. However, unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 88, 2020, 4 years ago. And he is in this movie completely CGI. And you can tell instantly. The thing is, I know you can tell instantly because I didn't even know he fucking died. Nevertheless, I didn't even know he was in the movie. But as soon as I saw him in the movie, I was like, why are they doing that? Are they trying to make it uncanny? Is it supposed to be creepy? It's really I fucking hate when movies do that in general. Disney does that a lot to their characters, the Star Wars characters. And it's super disrespectful. I really hope as the years go on, we develop a sort of law that like protects the dignity and respect of these human beings that passed away, instead of just having some fucking computer act for them. I think that's insane that we're normalizing this shit now. Literally, Dr. Sleep, Mike Flanagan, in the sequel to The Shining, Shelley Duvall is in Wendy is in the movie as Wendy, as her age as she was in The Shining. Shelley Duvall is not in the movie, and Shelley Duvall, rest in peace right now, but she didn't pass away at the time of Dr. Sleep. Obviously, she couldn't play a young Wendy at that point, and they didn't CGI her or anything. They literally just had a different actress play Wendy, aka a young Shelley Duvall, and she fucking killed it. No one batted an eye. Just do that. How hard is it to just respect the dead and just have another fucking... I don't even know if it was necessary that Ian Holmes' character had to be in this movie. They could have written some shit. Either way, I had a problem with that because, one, it looked like dog shit. It looked fucking terrible. Every time he was on screen, I was like, this is sticking out like a sore thumb. It looks bad as a movie level, but as an ethics, moral level, it's kind of fucking gross. That's not really gonna tarnish my score that I'm gonna give the movie, but it's just more like a feeling I get from one person to like another person. I think that's creepy. Maybe 20 years from now we'll somehow normalize it or give justification to it. I don't know. Right now I don't like it. I think it's fucked up. I think there are a million ways to go around before you get to that. Please stop bringing people back from the dead digitally and have them act in your fucking movies. Please do anything else but besides that. Now, this is not a fault to Alien or Romulus. It feels like it's Alien tradition throughout the entire franchise to just drag your fucking movie. Every single Alien has a beginning, middle, and 3-act structure like every other movie, but their 3-act structure, in the third act, you get this crazy big climax, like, oh my god, everything's going crazy, and then after that, you get like a 5-minute breather of just, we're all safe now, guys. Then the last 10 minutes are the real climax, the real third act, the real fucking, oh my god, it's just like, oh my god, like, we've already seen this. Wrap it up, bro. I don't want to watch this anymore. It's like, we know what's gonna happen. It's so predictable. Fuck fun. Like, just wrap your movie up. This movie, Romulus definitely drags on. By the second act is like, you're losing me a little bit. What's going on? The last 10 minutes of this movie, just like every other Alien, it does the second climax. But this one didn't lose me. I actually liked the last 10 minutes in this movie. And I think that is because of the really cool design of the Alien variant, the new one. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a cool, freaky fucking looking xenomorph in this movie. And it is awesome. And they were very smart not to show its face too much, because there are a few shots where you see its face and it could tread the line of this is creepy, scary versus you look goofy as fuck, I'm gonna laugh at you, make fun of you. I thought it was creepy, I thought it was weird, especially the first shot when you see it, you're gonna be like, ugh, what the fuck is that thing? It's awesome. So I liked the last 10 minutes. This movie did drag on a bit. The story itself felt very underwhelming, very lackluster. It's a fun, competent movie, but it's just so safe, it's so boring. It's the same way I felt with Force Awakens, where, yeah, I liked it, but I've seen it, and I've seen it done better. I've seen it when it was in its original form, not when it was a copy and paste. Can we do something new? The movie looks nice. It's very well shot. It's got a very cool color scheme. You got a lot of yellows, some oranges, some greens, some red. It's very well made. Again, I cannot hype up the practical effects enough. The set designs, the interior, the exterior, the shots of outer space, the shot of the atmosphere from above it. It's so well made on a filmmaking aspect, like on a technicality aspect. It's just, the story is just so underwhelming, and I get why they did it. This will probably achieve its goal in revitalizing the franchise to capture the hearts from the veterans of this series, to hopefully open the eyes and hearts of the new generation to come, so they can pump out more Alien movies. And if they're good, I don't give a fuck. Give more. But again, strong foundation or not, I wanted some more originality. Not a badly made movie whatsoever by any means, but it is an underwhelming movie for me. I'm giving Alien Romulus a 5 out of 10. Check it out if you want. Let me know if there's some other movies you want me to talk about. They could either have come out this year or 100 years from now. 100 years ago. Don't fuck me. I love talking about movies. I think it's so cool, and we should talk about more movies, and more people should know about more movies. If there's like a hidden gem or a film out there you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comments, or just in case if like anybody else reads your comment, just leave that. Let them know. Put us on some fucking cinema. Put us on some game. But other than that, yeah, this was really cool. This was really fun, and be on the lookout for this week, because I will be doing an Alien franchise ranking from dog shit to the best that they've made. From this video, you could probably already tell where this ranking is going to go, but either way, it'd be fun, and let me know how you would rank them, and I will see you on the next one.